Oh, hello. There's some horses going ham sandwich over there. Horses going ham sandwich. Ooh. I love this bike. Super cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are rebuilding the suspension, the fork seals on my Honda CX500. So let's get to it. I'm hoping this does not take too long, but fork seals always take longer than expected. So this could go very poorly, but let's get to it. Well, that took a little bit of kind of yanking on it with these pliers, but I got it out. It's very stiff, and you can tell the oil is very old. I actually found, I think this is a piece of PVC pipe on top of the spring. I think last time these forks were rebuilt, they lost the spacer that was in the top, and they just cut a piece of PVC pipe up and put that on top. So I'm gonna tear open the next fork and see if that has a spacer, but I'm gonna get ready to paint this now, painting it gloss black. So let's do that. That is some dirty fork oil. Ooh, wow. And so I think this, over time, wore the dust boot and the fork seal down. And so I think this started leaking and collecting debris inside. So yeah, it's basically all just sludge in here though. It's just nasty. Come fly like one bird in the sky. They will stand as we take off with no care. Okay, so today is a new day. These fork tubes have been drying overnight after I painted them yesterday, and the paint looks great. It looks really good. That's that. Over here I have an extremely big mess. These are the other parts of the forks that we are rebuilding. So this is all the parts I need to reassemble the forks, and then the suspension will be done and painted. Go to the one place that we will. Well, I got the wrong fork seals. And we're back. We got the right fork seals. Let's get to this. All right, so let's do this. Got all the parts here. Got the shocks, top shocks. We got even the spacers. One spacer. We have another one somewhere. But then we also have the fork tubes, the lowers, and the uppers. And then we have all the interior parts as well. So let's get to this. And the right fork seals. We have the right fork seals. Okay, so I'm gonna do this the easy way. It's basically you hammer it into its position before you put the tube in. It does the same thing. Either way is fine. Some people say, are skeptical about which way is better. They both do the same thing, so I'm gonna do it that way since I don't have a fork seal driver with me. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's do it. I learned that the top spring actually has a washer in between it and the large spring. So I'm gonna drop one of these in there and then put the top spring in. Same with the other tube. So basically how it goes in is there's a tiny little spring that goes in first, and then the rod all the way through. It goes onto the rod, so that's fine. That goes all the way through, and then you bolt that in, and then you put the large spring in the tube, and then a washer, or it calls it a spring plate. Put that in next after the big spring, and then put the little spring on top of that. And since there are two in there, I'm just gonna put one right underneath this as well. So that's how it goes. So anyway, finally wrapped up this project. You know what? I hate fork seals, but they're really not that hard to do. Okay, so before you start these projects, you should probably download the owner's manual on your phone or print it out or something before you start. I will say that I am not a professional mechanic and I do not pretend to be, but luckily we did everything perfectly right. Got you! So I'm very happy. I'm looking at the owner's manual right now. The fork oil capacity is 4.5 through 4.7 ounces. I'm gonna put in 4.7 ounces just because that's what I do. And yeah, it has all the torque specs and everything. So here is the owner's manual for the front suspension of the Honda CX500. So I hope this helps some of you guys out. I know some of you guys are watching this channel to watch the build and don't care, but some people who are watching this need these specs. So here they are, and I hope they help you out. So today I'm using some Maxima fork oil. This is a 5-weight fork oil, so it's going to be a little bit softer so it can absorb bumps a little bit better. I know a lot of people who build cafe bikes like the really hard front suspension. I'm fine with it being a little bit more fluffy. So back in the day when these forks were made, they used a different kind of fork oil. This is the more modern stuff, but a lot of people have really enjoyed having the modern fork oil in these tubes. So I'm gonna do it. I had this left over from my Yamaha FZ6 fork seal change. So I'm just gonna use it.
Don't need to hide now. Jump.
Man, that is hard.
'Cause I know
The frick?
I just want you.
Please just screw on. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. We got a lot. Oh, brother, there's a piece of my glove in there. I'll just insulate it, right? Oh my gosh. Stop. Please. Thank you. Goodness gracious. I'm just hoping that this isn't too soft of suspension now. You could definitely tell it's a little bit softer than it used to be. It feels a lot smoother. It feels a whole heck of a lot smoother than it used to. But it is kind of soft. I think it'll be fine. The bike is pretty high off the ground, so I'm sure I'm sure it'll be great. All right, so here they are, fully assembled in all their glory. I am so happy that this project is finally done. It looks great. I bounced on it a few times and not leaking oil at all. The only thing, the vise did mess up the paint just slightly. It kind of dented, like wrinkled the paint a little bit. So I'll have to repaint that. Not a huge deal, just a few extra coats, and it's all good. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, so there you have it. The fork seals are changed. The suspension is reassembled. That was freaking obnoxious. That took way longer than expected, and it's just not a very fun job to do. It's quick enough when you have the right pieces, but it's just not that fun to do. But anyway, now that that's done, I have to paint the frame of the bike. Everything else is painted, and then it is on to reassembly. I know I keep saying that, but it's actually true. After this, I get to reassemble the bike. I just got a new rectifier in as well, so everything's coming together. I get to reassemble the bike after the frame is painted, but that will be next episode, and I'm so excited about it. So that wraps it up for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next video.